First World Order Radio. Finally, we are on the air. No doubt. All right.
There's always going to be somebody in the building on First World Order Radio.
We get on into some of that order consciousness tonight.
First World Order Radio every Wednesday, 8 p.m.
We got to talk about what is taking place on the planet.
There's always going to be somebody in the building on First World Order Radio. First, we need to let you know we're going to be doing more shows, giving out more information on Wednesdays. Wednesday at 8 o'clock, we are now going to make this the hottest day of the week.
Preceding others in time, order, importance. The most prominent parts, voices, or instruments. Earthly state of human concerns in existence. An indefinite multitude, quantity, or distance. System regulates to bring about specifics in the group based on value and natural characteristics. Current radiates electromagnetistics of sound through the air, same as your thoughts transmits it. Preceding others in time, order, importance. The most prominent parts, voices, or instruments. Earthly state of human concerns in existence. An indefinite multitude, quantity, or distance. System regulates to bring about specifics in the group based on value and natural characteristics. Current radiates electromagnetistics of sound through the air, same as your thoughts transmits it.
You need to understand how magical this, something like this every Wednesday can become. So you need to start getting your calendar right, get your schedule right. You need to know our intention straight out.
All right, so, these clues are given throughout the various languages was to piece the puzzle of this ancient mystery school back together again.
And what we plan on doing, both of us, is bringing y'all some surefire dynamite. We're going to take this level up a notch. We're going to have stuff to do here. This is not just going to be about philosophies and theories, shit that works.
Peace, back once again with Dr. Alim Baylor Radio. All right, we getting ready to bring on my co-host, brother Fahim. Are you here, brother?
I tell you, Washington East, more.
Yeah, I tell you Washington East, more. What's up with you?
I'm doing well. Well, how the more doing?
I'm doing well, God.
All right.
I'm looking for Brother Pennick's number here, and I don't see it right now, so we're going to try to get in contact with him. Brother Pennick, if you're listening, hit that number 1 button. We're going to bring you on in. Let's see here. Hold on now, because there's a lot of static in the background.
All right.
All right. So, let's see what's on. All right, let's see what's on here. Just bear with us for a moment. Let's see if we can pull them on up. I think that's area code 347. Brother Pennick, is that you? All right, must not be. What we're gonna do is build until we can see if Pennick gonna hit me back and come on. This week we're supposed to be talking about the Kabbalah, the Goatia, the tunnels of 22 of Set, which is the backside of the Tree of Life, as well as also on the Tree of Life. So what we're going to do is trying to keep it popping. For those that don't know about the Tree of Life, of course, you can go and do your research. The origin of it comes from ancient Egypt, in which that if you read Volume 1 of Egyptian Yoga by Dr. Muad Ashby, he has the actual picture of a hieroglyph or metuneta off the walls, in which that breaks that information down and show to Tamarians or Egyptians, Kemites or Kamals, in which that are holding the Tree of Life, in which that is symbolically, of course, your chakras, In particular, the 7 coming up the coming up the back, and then the 3 in the front where you store energy. In particular, the 3 in the front of which that store energy is called the Dantians. You have the upper Dantian, which is known within the book of Acts, where Jesus came down to his disciples and blew the Holy Spirit or his breath upon the disciples, and they received the Holy Spirit. So the Holy Spirit and the breath became synonymous. And also the fact is that he was in the upper room when he did it, which is actually symbolic to the third eye, or what is known as the first eye, in which that when you practice the arts such as Qigong or Tai Chi, you store energy as you're pulling it down, descending energy into your antennas, which your hair follicles, down into your scalp, into your third eye area, which is located near the third ventricle, oversees the third ventricle. That is the storage place of this electromagnetic energy known as prana within the Sanskrit, chi within China, ki within Japan, kahuna mana within Hawaii, or the Holy Spirit within Christianity. Now, that is one of the first places that you store the energy at. Another place is the heart chakra, in particular back of the heart, that expands to the front of the heart, in which that you also store the energy there. And then, of course, your Dantian, which is the lower Dantian in particular, is located in your navel chakra, in which that expands 2 inches down and back behind your navel chakra. So when we're talking about this type of information, that is symbolic to the 10 spheres or fears, which is talking about the 10 lights on the tree of life coming from Kether down to Korth. That's actually what they're talking about in that relationship. Once again, the 7 chakras coming up the back of the spine, which is mentioned in the book of Revelation, where it speaks about the fact that the 7 churches or the 7 seals, that is nothing more than the 7 chakras or seats of lights in which that resonate from the base of the spine, which is known as your sacral bone, to the back where the kidneys are, in the center between the kidneys, up then from where the solar plex, the back area of the solar plex, actually is symbolic to your pancreas, spleen area, then up from, the back of the heart, then you have the back of the throat, the medulla oblongata, which correlates to the third eye in the front, and then, of course, the crown. So when you read in the book of Revelations, it speaks about specifically about a book in which that was sealed with 7 seals, on the back, that is symbolic to the backbone. Metaphysically, you got 33 vertebrates, in which that correlates to Jesus dying at the age of 33, correlates to also to Alexander, the so-called fake, or, great, I call it fake, in which that supposedly died at the age of 33 also, in which that the Serapis myth is actually based on a portion of that, as well as also JC, which was Julius Caesar, coming from the Pisos renditions. If you don't know who the Pisos are, Pisos, go and check out the Roman aristocratic family known as the Pisos, and how they get down and how they made the mythology up, their family line of the Old and New Testament, of these so-called Jewish converts. Actually, we talking about these Khazars or Ashkenazans, coming from the Gentiles, in which that converted, to what is known as Hebrewism, or the Israelite teachings, in which that they claim that they were the followers of the, of Judah or Judea, in which that, you get the word Jews from, in which that they claim is broken down. Actually, Huda or Judea is actually derived from the word Tahudi or Jehudi. And Tahudi or Jehudi is the god of wisdom, which symbolizes not, a tribe, but particular teachings in which that came out from the ancient mystery school system, in which that they claim that they follow, which are the 7 principles. Those 7 principles deals with mentalism, which is dealing with correspondence, polarity, rhythm, vibration, gender, which is sex, and polarity. All right, cause and effect. All right, so those are the 7 principles in which that are the principles of Jahudi or Tahudi, in which that they claim that they follow. This is why when you're doing your research, you find out that you have these imposter Jews in which that claim the lineage, coming from the teachings of Tahudi, but they themselves are not actually practicing the ancient mystery school, except in the sense of them claiming to be the chosen people, which of course we know that's a lie, because even when you read the Bible, all of the, so-called descriptions of the Jews, Hebrews, or Israelites were people of color, hence, i.e., black, or Moors, so we know that was BS. And they are nothing more than converts who came in around 740 AD, some say even earlier, around 70 BC, after the burning of Jerusalem, whatever the case may be. We see that if you read the book, The 13th Tribes by Arthur Kessler, he speaks about they're nothing more than Khazars or Russian converts, all right, with strands of Mongolian, coming from out of, the East, did not come from out of Africa, in which that came from out the Phoenicians or the Danglawai, who was known as the Danglawai people from out of Sudan, Nubia, as it was called, Ethiopia, also Abyssinia, Somalia area. Names have changed, of course, over the years, but we're talking about Kushite people. And, of course, the Phoenicians are part of the Kushite people, as well as you and I. So we are the original students of the teachings of Jahudi, all right, which was part of the ancient mystery school, in which that spread it throughout the world. And if you don't believe me, get the book called African Origin of Civilization by Jacques Anta Diop, in which that he specifically stated that around 500 BC, you had motion of priests from out of the ancient mystery school who went and spread it out from Africa into the diaspora, into China, into various parts of Asia, into Europe, into the Americas. And they brought with them the ancient mystery school system. This is why when you read Stolen Legacy by George G. James, he states specifically that for those who came up into Europe, the Moors were the custodians of the ancient mystery school teachings. You read that in his book. And as they, of course, spread it out, these teachings, went throughout the world. So it's the same mystery school. This is why you find pyramids and mounds throughout the world. They recently found pyramids in Romania. They found pyramids, of course, in China. They found pyramids in Australia. They found pyramids in Madagascar. They found pyramids throughout Africa, all the way down and actually into Zimbabwe, which was formerly known as Rhodesia, which, of course, was named after Cecil Rhodes, who ended up killing 25 million Africans. You find, not just, matter of fact, when my wife and I went to the British Museum about 6 years ago, what happened was that my wife was looking at one of the objects, one of the, Egyptian relics, and she touched it and she put her head inside, and she said when she put her head inside and she started chanting Om, she said her mind went into another apparent reality, in which that she saw the ancient Egyptians. And the curator of the museum came over, one of the curators, and said, ma'am, you can't touch the objects. And of course my wife said, well, it's been so long since I've touched my ancient relics. And, came back about 5 minutes later and said, well, ma'am, if you think you are impressed by the rugs that we have here in the British Museum, in which he also told us that 80% of
more information of Egypt. Information was down in the basement, in which that the head curator of the British Museum at that time was not there. So we asked, could we get a chance to see? He said that the head curator was not there. However, he did tell us that only what we were seeing was 20%. The other 80% was underneath. And he also said that if you want to see more, you need to go to Ireland. So when we hear about St. Patrick running the snakes out of Ireland, we understand that the snakes was not reptilians like David Icke would have you to believe. The snakes were like what Maru Pinkham wrote within The Return of the Serpents of Wisdom, that it symbolized those who mastered the Kundalini energy. These was the so-called blacks or Moors who mastered the Kundalini energy, who was ran out of Ireland by St. Patrick, in which that they get St. Patrick's Day from. And when you read this, you can actually get this from a book, actually 2 volumes, from Ancient and Modern Britons by, what's his name? His name is David MacRitchie. All right, David MacRitchie. And there he states this. And so the snakes are actually those who master the reptilian or serpentine fire energy, which mastered also the reptilian portion of the brain, which has 12 sites or melanin centers on the reptilian portion or brain stem, in which that is activated in most so-called blacks or Moors. It is only at 2 sites activated, and this is based on nutricides by a brother by the name of Dr. Layla Africa. He wrote that in the Nutricides book, in which that he also have profound information in African holistic health too. So I recommend that book too, in which that he drops on the science of melanin. Now, of course, we know the head man who bought the melanin sciences. We know that the ISIS papers bought fractions of it through Dr. Francis Quest Wilson, but the one who popularized the melanin information and subject was not just Anthony T. Broder through his 22 essays or the Broder files, but also his contemporary during that time was Dr. Richard King, who wrote The African Origin of Biological Psychiatry, as well as also Melanin, the Key to Freedom, in which that these melanin centers are activated. Now, what the GMO food is doing is shutting down the melanin activation in these particular sites in the reptilian portion of the brain, as well as also shut down the electromagnetic currency in the DNA, which within the brain you have 12 pair of cranial nerves, in which that sits around the pineal gland, in which that deals with the activation of taking you into higher sensory perception, or what's called ESP. For example, if you have touch, then the higher perception would be psychchemistry. If you have sight, then you have clairvoyance. If you have hearing, then you have clairaudience. If you have smell, then you have clairsentience. If you have taste, then you have clairgescence. So these are the higher aspects of those 5 senses. And when these 12 pair of cranial nerves and the 12 sites in the reptilian portion of the brain are activated, then you have the ability in order to communicate with your ancestors. All right, this is a large thing, a big portion of the information which that brother Panic breaks down is how to communicate with the ancestors. And this is what actually is taking place scientifically, medically in your physical body. Also awakening up the DNA, which is nothing more than layers of consciousness and information, a memory, in which that is the storehouse of not just this particular incarnation of you here, but of your ancestors who have passed on, 7 generations on your mother's side, 7 generations on your father's side. So 14 generations you are a concentration of. So you have direct access to those memory banks of your ancestors right now, in which that this is the reason why they shut down your DNA to function below 10%, and the other 90% of your DNA is non-coded, which means inactive. All right, this is what the GMO food is doing, is shutting that shit down. They're attempting to anyway. The overall ruler of everything, which we talk about, however, is your consciousness. All right, and in order to transfer from lower consciousness or lower nature or lower mind or lower self is by way of your breath. All right. Your breath is what is the medium in which that transfers you from out of your devilishment into your godliness, as we would say. So in order to tap into your higher self, you must learn how to breathe. All right, this is what is meant in the scriptures where Jesus speaks about the fact that, that he's the way, the truth, and the life, and no one can get to the Father but by him. All right, so it's through the breath. Within the ancient Kemetic teachings, the breath is Shu, all right, which means the personification of air, or he who raises up. All right, the breath is what raises the Kundalini, which is the All-Setian energy, known as Isis. All right, raises this energy up. Also within Hebrew is known as the Shekinah. Within ancient Kemet teachings, Isis is also, which is all set. She's also known as Sekhmet. All right, all of this is nothing more than the Kundalini, the feminine face of God. And as you raise that energy up, also known as the Holy Spirit or the Holy Mother Mary. And as when you see, this is why in over 200 countries you have the Black Madonna and Child, which is nothing more than the Kundalini as she raises up that divine seed, which is that atom in which that, or those atoms in which that transformed to molecules, in which that became DNA or cells through which formed your physical body into existence. There's 8 blastular pores, or what is known as specifically cellular division, in which that is there within your base of your spine, called your sacral bone area, which is right above the crack of your ass, which is the abode of the Kundalini. Now, what happens is that upon the raising of the Kundalini, it raises up also that particular cell in which that never changes your whole life. All right, so you are made up of 76 trillion cells, but there's 8 cells in your body that never change the whole life. The other 76 trillion cells changes over the 7-year period, but these cells never change. So this is drawn up through the proper resurrection of Christ, which is the raising of the Kundalini, in which that produces the divine marriage in heaven, in which that the Kundalini touches the pineal gland, in which that electrifies and magnifies and awakens, as we would say, Heru. The soul is embedded inside of the pineal gland based on the chorus of French philosopher, which is the seat of the soul, as well as also based on the Gnostic teachings told to us by Dr. Richard King and also to Brother Bobby Hemmett, and also by way of Brother Panic. All right, so with the activation of the seat of the soul becomes awakened and transformed from Asar, who is the Lord of the dead, or the Lord of the underworld, which is the subconscious realm, to become Heru, which is the God of the conscious world. So now Asar transformed into Heru, and now that is Christ consciousness within Christianity. That is Buddha consciousness in Buddhism. That is the way within Taoism, which is Tao. We can go on and on and on. That is Obatala, or Ododo Madre, as Obatala symbolizes the head, and then the awakened portion is Ori, in which that correlates in a sense to Olodu Madre, which is the universal principle, and being that you are the microcosm of the macrocosmic, which is the universe. You're the universe in miniature form. It symbolizes the mind expanding the whole 76 quintillion miles of diameter of, which is called the universe, right? Where your mind spans the exact proportions. So therefore, you have access to all of that information. We refer to it as the Akashic Records, or ethers, or also refer to the Universal Library. All right, you have access to all that information regardless. So this is what we talking about here, and this is some very advanced science. So hopefully y'all niggas are listening to what the fuck I'm talking about, so that y'all can get clear understanding, understanding of your physical body being the antenna in which that you must use in order to resurrect yourself. All right. Some of y'all niggas want to learn about the science of magic, but don't know how to harness energy. That's a no-no. All right. To do magic, well, you got to learn how to harness energy. All right. In other words, your mind must be turned on consciously to absorb prana, chi, or ki energy, all right, which is Ra. You must be able to draw down Ra, all right? This is why Ra being drawn down within the Satanic Bible is the name for the devil, all right? This is no coincidence that Ra, you know, which is prana, is the color red, all right? So when you fucking with this information, you actually is messing with Lucifer, all right, which is the devil, which is in red, and which that symbolizes what brings forth the manifestation of the physical body, all right? If you want longevity, then you would store that red energy into your lower dantian, which is your navel chakra, all right, in which that give you immortality or longevity as we refer to it as, all right? So this is really what you're messing with, all right? So if you want to become a great healer, you must learn the components of the science of drawing down this energy into you. 300,000 tons of stardust energy falls to the planet Earth daily. I'm giving you a metaphor, not to get spooked the fuck out. All right? This ain't about getting spooked out. Some of y'all spooky niggas, you know what I'm saying, you might want to leave the line right about now. All right? But this is talking about science. All right? You can look at a goddamn firefly and you can look this information up. You will see that that what lights up a firefly is called luciferin. All right? That's how it's able to harness. It's able to harness the light. You must learn how to do that shit before you can light the fuck up. This is for real. All right? Now, if you don't want to know how to do that, then once again, get the fuck off the line. If you do want to learn it, keep your ass on, and I'll tell you the secret. All right? The secret is simply being conscious and learning the science of breath. When you breathe in, you will actually feel prana coming down at the top of your head. You will store it once again in the areas that I said earlier. All right? Then you must learn the science of the micro and the macro cosmic orbit technique, which is the circulation of that energy through the body. It would be well that you learn that so that you can expand that information or that energy or messenger codes through your meridians. All right? You have 72,000 nerves, as they say. And what happens is that when you send this information through your nadis, which is actually through your whole body, various areas, from the head, from your head to your hands, arms, legs, down to your torso, you know, up to your torso, whatever the case is, your whole body, all right? It lights up like a Christmas tree, or however, as we say, it expands your aura, all right? There's a breath technique in which that we talked about before, in which that is called empty retention. You have three: prana breathing or prana breath technique. There's three. Empty retention is 1, 636, 3 is 1, 7171 is another one. All right, these are the actually techniques in which that we recommend that y'all get into. All right, it expands your aura. The average person aura is only 3 feet outside of their physical body. You have your outer aura, your health aura, and your inner aura. What happened is that based on particular thought forms coming from yourself, resonate from yourself, in other words, self-defeating thoughts, or whether it's coming from, you know, someone else who's bombarding you with negative thought forms, what happens is that these negative thought forms can actually eat away at your auric field and create holes and leaks. So in order to seal up the holes and leaks, you must learn these breathing techniques and also how to cleanse your aura. All right? You can actually take an egg and, you know, move it down from around your head, around the front, down your legs and feet, down as much of the back that you can get. And then what you would do is throw the egg outside, you know, and make sure that it's cracked. And that's one of the ways in order to remove negative energy. You can also take a sea salt bath with Himalayan salts, or sea salt, or Epsom salt, or whatever the case is, and soak for at least 20 minutes, you know, which that helps purify the auric field. All right, or you can learn pranic healing, in which that deals with scraping negative debris, you know, or congestion, negative congestion, you know, from off of your auric field, and then flicking it off into a plant or grass or a tree. You know, this is where, you know, your tree hugger niggas come in at, you know, in which that when you hug a tree, the energy can pass off, you know, from you into the tree itself. You know, if you ask permission, of course, because remember, the tree gives off oxygen. You take in oxygen, you give off carbon dioxide, it takes in carbon dioxide, so it's a bi-symbiotic influence between the two of y'all. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, get into some tree hugging niggas, you know, that will help y'all, you know, immensely with the resurrection, you know, of and the cleansing of your aura, you know, which helps with the removal of guilt and disappointment and frustrations from your chakra system, which are known as the seven creative spirits, also referred to as the seven Elohim, or the seven souls of Ra within the ancient Kemetic teachings. All right. So with this cleansing, you know, we're talking about, you know, the resurrection, the purification of your aura, and this is what the tree of life actually is talking about. The tree of life, once again, is your whole physical body. When you read in the Bible, it talks about the book of life. It's talking about your physical body. You know what I'm saying? Your DNA has light codes, in which that deals with ACGT, which is adenine, cytosine, also known as tyrosine and guanine. All right, those four amino acids symbolizes the building blocks of life called protein, in which that form your physical body together from those 8 dividing cells of mitosis. All right, and that's how the various areas of your body, the main function of that process in which that holds your physical body together is called centrifugal and centripetal force, which is nothing more than the insulation and the exhalation of the breath itself. When you was inside the womb of your mother, you learned how to breathe through the pores of your skin. All right, so for 9 months, that's what you were, what they call an aquatic being, because you was in water, the waters of life. All right, and that water of life symbolized, you know, also what is spoken of within the Bible. It speaks about the waters of life. What they don't tell you is that how that shit really happens. All right, number one, the breath not only composes and holds your physical body together, and you don't believe me, goddammit, stop breathing and see your ass decompose. So the breath is what holds your ass together. That is the shu, all right, or in the ancient Kemetic teaching, that's shu, which is the personification of air. Within the Hebrew or Aramaic, it is Yahshua. That's why you see Yahshua, who's the new God, which is a byproduct of the old God of Yahweh. You have Yahweh, which is Yahivahi, which is the Tetragrammaton, which is nothing more than, you know, those 4 letters that I told you about, in which that is called the building blocks of life, ACGT. That is nothing more than Yahivahi, which comes up to the number 26, which 2 plus 6 is the number 8, which is talking about the 8 dividing cells of mitosis that I just told you about. It's no coincidence that if you broke down, if you had the 26 letters of the alphabet, all right, in our English alphabet, you have 26 letters. 2 plus 6 is 8 once again. Then you have L, it breaks down to 8. Adonai breaks down to 8. Elah, which is the same word as Allah, breaks down to 8. Elohim breaks down to 8. The names in which that you use within Hebrew for God all breaks down to the number 8, which symbolizes the 8 divided cells of mitosis. In ancient Kemetic text, it breaks down to what is known as the Agadad, all right, which are the 8 gods who emerged from Atum, all right, in which that symbolizes Shu, Tefnut, Geb, Nut, or Saw, or Set, and Nabhat. All right. So this signifies it is already part of you. So when you can call it nothing but aspects of yourself. This is what Bob's telling y'all niggas for years now. This is really about. What I'm doing is helping you, you know, get the clear understanding of what all of this really means. Because some of y'all are missing the damn boat for real. All right? This is about you, your soul salvation. We ain't talking about some damn spooky shit once again, or just worshiping something outside of yourself. We done had enough of that shit. We done had enough of worshiping something outside of you. That's some idol worshiping shit. That's when you actually are the Antichrist, when you damn waste all your energy on something outside of yourself that you can't see, touch, taste, smell, and hear. But yet you have a goddamn God in you. 1 Corinthians 3:16, it speaks about, do you not know that your body is the temple of the living God? So if your body is the temple of God, then God is in you. Luke 17:21 tells you that Jesus told his disciples, he said, yo, look here, know therefore, behold, the kingdom of God is within you. So if you want to learn magic, the only time you can learn magic is once you harness the God properties within yourself. All right? So, once again, with these sciences, you must resurrect that atomic cellular structure, all right, like we was talking about, which is already at the base of the spine. Resurrect that, pull that up. As a matter of fact, like we said last week, there's 72,000, nadis in the body, but there's also 72 principles around what is called the Kunta gland, which is actually near the base of the spine, which actually is like what we call the prostate gland within the males, or the Kunta gland within the women. All right, that is where that energy is. All right, this is where you get the mythology about the golden egg laid by the goose and the golden egg, or when you get into the Gnostic text and it speaks about this egg of life. All of this is talking about that particular Kunta egg, which is right there at the base of the spine or in the pit of the stomach area, and it's from there in which that you raise this energy up, called the Kundalini, all right, which is the serpentine fire. This is the serpent in the garden in which that y'all niggas have been so scared about, all right? The garden being your physical body itself. And as you remember, it tells you that the serpent was the most subtle creature in the garden. This is what the Bible says in the Old Testament in Genesis. So this creature, this serpent, is the most subtle, all right? And subtle, when you break it down, correlates to the fact of subtle energy, all right? And this subtle energy is what is called prana kundalini, which is meaning that Kundalini is nothing more than a concentration of the universal life force energy, which is called prana. All right, you have your own personal prana, in which that give you the ability in order to live a certain amount of years, but you can actually expand that personal energy by the practice of Qigong, by the practice of Tai Chi, by the practice of Reiki, by the practice of pranic healing, by the practice of Kundalini yoga, or by the practice of Tantra Kriya yoga or Tantra yoga. All right, so you can actually expand your energy through the proper, by these proper techniques. All right, you ain't gonna get that shit by just going to church every Sunday and just jumping up and down and foaming at the goddamn mouth and falling out. That ain't gonna happen, because the whole fact of you falling out from the Holy Spirit shows that you ain't harnessed that energy. You get the burst of that energy right then, and then you can't even harness and keep that energy going, and so you fall out weak. Someone got to help your ass back to the damn pew, all of that shit. Go to church and see that. You see what I'm talking about. Go to a holy roller church, Pentecostal holiness church. You see exactly what I'm talking about. All right. That's just like people who practice the African religions, and after the spirit lays on them, they tired, they weak, they got to go lay down for about a day or two and shit. Okay? Nah, that shit don't happen when you know how to activate this energy through your meridians. So this is what we're really talking about here. Let me go. You got something to add on to what I'm talking about here, brother?
Oh yeah, but brother, yeah, they don't deal with the higher self, that's the God within. They don't. The Holy Spirit is within them, but they don't deal with that. And if you come to them with that, they really act like they don't really understand or don't want to understand, because they are so cling on to this, whatever this Holy Ghost or the Holy Spirit, what they have in church, that they hold on so dear to, and they're so wrapped up in it. It's hard to really get that through their heads. They tell, well, my grandfather taught me that, and my father taught me that, and my mother taught me that, so that's what I believe in, and that's what they go by.
Right. Not about that. No doubt about it. And so why you think that's a fact? Is it just because of the upbringing, or because they scared about self?
Well, it's the upbringing, and like I said before, their so-called beliefs in this belief system that they have won't allow them to grasp on to what you are talking about. They won't allow them to do that, and they can't see that. Come to them something like to them may be foreign to them, but actually, what you're telling them, they're looking for something that they already have. They say, "Oh, I'm looking for Jesus," or "I'm trying to find myself," or "I'm looking for God. I got to search for God. I need God." Well, you already have all that. And you're constantly, like I said, they're constantly howling, yelling, jumping up and down, screaming, falling out, passing out in church. They got to be held back to the pews of their church in their church, and still haven't really haven't achieved a damn thing.
Right.
But they say they're tired out. One day they all tired out. Because of that wasted energy that they're doing.
Right. No doubt about that. And that correlates too to 1 Corinthians 12 chapter, where it speaks about the gifts of Christ, or the 9 fruits of, and one of them is the fact of being able to speak in tongues, and then have the interpreter, of those in which that speaks in tongues. What I've noticed is that they never have a damn interpreter in there to tell you what the hell the nigga is saying.
No, because it's all about mind control. Number one,
right?
It's all about mind control. It's all about controlling their congregation. The few preachers know what the deal is, but they're not going to tell their congregation. If they do that, then that would be detriment to them. They can't feed off of them or suck off of them like they want to. Then the game will be over.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. And so what we want to do now is go ahead, brother.
Yeah. They can't get that money that they want to make. They can't. It takes a lot of bread out of their pockets. Actually, the church will fall if they embrace on what you and I are talking about.
Right.
That's the end of the game.
Right.
The Holy Roman Church in Rome, the Vatican, the game is up.
No doubt. The fact that he says he's the big Christ, meaning that he's on earth, until the real Christ. Well, damn it, you the real Christ.
Exactly.
Waiting for you to wake the fuck up, basically, so that he can put an end to the foolishness in which that they done, created over the last, almost nearly 2,000 years. That's the nonsense.
Exactly. The whole world.
Even if you go if you go and do some research, you're gonna find out that the Coptic, so-called Coptic Christians who had Christianity 300 years before Catholicism, before the Catholic Church or the Vatican, you will find out that they was related to the Phoenician Hebrews, in which that you have the Cushite beliefs or priesthood, which was the Ethiopian priesthood, in which that actually controlled ancient Kemet. The so-called ancient mystery schools of Kemet was controlled by the Cushites. So all this information, the word Christianity comes from the word Kadesani. The word Kadesani, the mummified body of Osiris, which is talking about the soul embedded inside of the pineal gland, in which that, must be reawakened. Whether it's going to be here on earth or whether it happens, on Judgment Day when your ass die. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have a panoramic, in backwards rotation of your past life. That means from the point that you are dying, all your past life, your whole past life experience is seen before your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Back to the point, of when, you was conceived, and that's what really takes place, and then of course, some speak about this tunnel, and at the end at the white light. That is nothing more than your soul going through what is Syrian cord or the silver cord, which is mentioned in the book of Ecclesiastes. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
See, the Bible is built for something, because some of these beliefs, or some of these sciences, or facts, has already been written down, and the Bible itself is nothing more than a summary of the traditions and the cultures of the ancient people.
Mm-hmm.
Majority of it, is based on African traditions. But the European got it, of course, in order to, to make his tails off of it in order to control certain aspects. Such as, through slavery, where in the portions in those scriptures where it's talking about for slaves to be obedient to your masters. Fuck that.
Mm-hmm.
That is part of the information in which that the European has used in order to, get us to where we at right now.
Exactly.
That's some of the things in which that we have to come to consideration of. In other words, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Get what you can from it, and use it to your advantage. Like we was building today about Psalms, the book of Psalms. The whole 150 chapters of the book of Psalms, was real powerful, because that is nothing more than the hymns of Akhenaten, Unkanten, who was Amenhotep IV, of the 18th dynasty. Those was hymns, and they had true properties to them. All right, if you get Annie Weaver's books, The Power of Psalms, or the book by my wife and I called The Living Power of Psalms and the Art of Candle Magic, you would see, how potent these particular hymns are and the power that they possess, because it all taps into the subconscious mind. We use these particular hymns for protection, for, controlling court cases, ending court cases, to get rid of negativity around you, whatever the case is, this is what you can use these particular hymns for, and this is all, shown and proved through the fact that Wallace Budge believed that the ancient Egyptians produced spells, or that these was particular spells on which that they wrote. And in a sense, of course, they were. These are spells on which that dealt with the science of magic, which is nothing more than the subconscious mind. So as saying that, you also have the subconscious mind, you have the conscious mind and then the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind deals with universe B, in which that symbolizes the back side of the tree of life, in which that is the tree of knowledge and good and evil, in which that also with the Goatia, as well as also with the 22 tunnels of Set are located at. If you look at the tree of life, you on the front side, you have the 22 tunnels in which that connects the various 10 spheres of life, on the tree of life, in which that there's 22. All right, those 22 correlate to the 22 amino acids, in which that are called the building blocks of life, or in which that forms your physical body, actually. All right, in which that evolved from out of those 8 blastoid pores that we spoke about earlier. All right, or those 4 amino acids. So from the 4 amino acids came forth 22 amino acids. All right, in which that is part of, the remainder is 42. Put it that way. In which that equals 64, which are the 64 permutations of the DNA. This is the 22 in which that are activated coding amino acids, or portion of the DNA, which that you have access to right now. The other 42 activations can be found in the Perhem Heru text, which is known as the Book of Coming Forth by DNA, or the opening of the ceremony, which is misnomered by Wallace Budge as the Book of the Dead, in which that it speaks about the 42 netters or netchers, in which that is called the 42 gods, all right, of Mayat. And you can actually get the names of these 42 deities or gods or netters, in which that by pronouncing them every single day opens and awakens the remaining 42 amino acids, which is called non-coding or junk DNA. So it activates the other remaining 90% of DNA in which that you are not using. The thing is that if you don't master these particular energies, you might scare the fuck out yourself. Okay? Seriously. You might just be so frightened, you know, till everything is just the devil. All right? We done seen that too many times, you know. For those who used to watch Saturday Night Live, you know, you had dude dressed up like the woman, old woman, and everything was Satan. Well, that's how y'all niggas would be. You know what I'm saying? If you don't eliminate some of that fear, you know, everything evolved from fear. You know what I'm saying? Disappointment, frustration, lust, greed, envy, jealousy, all that shit is fear. Greed, you think somebody getting ready to take some shit from you. Jealousy, because you think somebody getting ready to take some shit from you. Envy, because you think somebody getting ready to take some shit from you. All right, everything based on you thinking somebody gonna take some shit from you. That's fear. All right, so we know fear, broken down in the acronym, is false evidence appearing real. All right, so the shit appears to be real, but it's not. So it's that fear is merely an illusion. All right, and so the science is you have to eliminate the fear factor before you start indulging yourself into the higher forms of magic. You have low magic and have high magic. Low magic deals with you manipulating and controlling the environment, you know, from the, you know, by opening the subconscious mind. All right. When you become one, shit, you gain infinite consciousness, because there's 7 levels of consciousness. You have interpersonal consciousness, intrapersonal consciousness, which is called life consciousness, subconsciousness, super consciousness, magnetic consciousness, and infinite consciousness. When you reach the level of infinite consciousness, which can actually be reached by the mastering of the breath itself, which is 1 breath per minute, meaning that you breathe in for 30 seconds and out for 30 seconds. That's 1 breath per minute. All right. If you was able to do that, then 100% usage of your brain will come online. You will be able to use 100% usage of your brain. The pineal gland, pituitary gland, hypothalamus gland, thalamus gland, the temporal lobes, the amygdala glands, all these glands in your brain will be fully activated. DMT will come back online. Pinealine will come online. All right? This is the thing telling you how to do this shit. We ain't fucking around and playing with you. We're telling you exactly how to do it. So, by you mastering the breath technique, you'll be able to tap into these particular areas of your DNA in which that you can actually eliminate the fear factor from out of yourself, so that as you awaken the DNA, which is the 90% of the DNA that you have not used or don't have access to right now, because, like I said, you might drop dead from the shit that you see. That's what the GOATIA is. That's what the backside of the tree of life is. That's what all of that is talking about. All right, if you ain't ready for it, don't fuck with it. All right, you know. In other words, if you learn how to master the breath, then you ain't got no fear. If you ain't mastering the breath, then I say fear that shit, because you ain't ready. All right, you ain't ready to see the memories, and you ain't ready to see the phobias and the fears in which that is latent in layers from your ancestors inside of your DNA. Remember, I just told you earlier that all your ancestors concentrated. 7 generations on your mother's side, 7 generations on your father's side. Man thinks some wicked shit. And you got to eliminate all that shit that is encoded in your DNA. All right? In other words, to make your heart lighter. If you ever see the scales on the ancient Egyptians, you would see an animal by their scales. You see Tahuti, you see Isis, which is all set scales. The scales was called the scales of Mayat. All right. She symbolized the scales itself, which of course within astrology is Libra, which is balance. All right. But she symbolizes that scale. On there, you see a feather, and then you see the heart. You see the feather on the right-hand side, symbolic to the feather of Shu, which symbolizes the breath. And then you see the heart on the left-hand side. And if the heart is heavier than the feather, then you incarnate back here. There is no ifs, ands, or but. You coming back to a fucking third-dimensional apparent reality to get fucked all over again by some white folks. If your heart is lighter than the feather, then you can take your ass on into high dimension. Okay? The choice is yours. All right? So, we get ready to go to the phone lines here right quick. And we still don't see Brother Panics, but we're gonna hold it down. Y'all getting some good information, so if you don't show up, we're gonna have him on next week or whenever he can get on here. But right now we're gonna go to the phone lines and see what y'all got to say. We got area code 817.
Hello? I was specifically calling to speak specifically to Brother Panic because I had tried to pay for his class and I haven't received anything.
Okay.
So,
I tried calling him today myself, and I haven't been able to get in contact. So I'm gonna try to email him after this and see what's going on with him. Hopefully he's all right and everything is okay with him. And I don't know if you have his phone number or not. What you can do is try to email him or Facebook him. All right, we're going to go to the next call. We got area code 614, area code 614. You on the line.
Greetings, King Alim and Brother L. King L, how are you?
I'm doing good.
Okay, excellent, great. How you doing, Brother L?
Fine, sister. How the sister doing tonight?
I'm doing great. Well, I have a whole heap of questions, but I guess I want to just break it down to two. Okay, you said, so if, do you see any correlation between, the serpentine, fire, kundalini energy, snakes, and parasites?
And what? And parasites?
They're, they crawl on their belly. They're worm-ish, worm-like, serpentine-like, kind of, or are they?
Right. Well, my wife brought that issue up some shows ago in which she dealt with that information, in which that basically that's what also you can see in a correlation on the physical plane in terms of what is spoken of within the Old Testament about the so-called serpent or worm or parasite in which that tempts man. A woman, in which that could be also, yes, parasites, in which that, of course, we know once they get inside your digestive system, they can actually produce chemicals in which that can cause all types of illnesses and diseases throughout your whole body. It can cause high blood pressure, diabetes. Matter of fact, we know for sure that a fluke worm is a cause of diabetes. All right? Of course, in order to get rid of diabetes, there's a herb that you can use called bitter melon. Bitter melon should be used to get rid of diabetes. And to cleanse out the body, there's other herbs such as black walnut, cloves, and garlic, right? And wormwood. Those four can get rid of any parasites, whether it's from the larva stage into the adult stage. So if it is a parasite, we just told you the herbs to use in order to get rid of them. So, it ain't nothing. You know what I mean?
So it's connected to the Kundalini serpent energy,
yes.
Or no?
Right. That is no, not the parasites, but the Kundalini itself is called the serpentine fire. The serpentine fire is symbolic to what is called electricity or electromagnetism, in which that you have the magnetism force of the Kundalini called Shakti. All right. in which that magnetizes and pulls the Kundalini energy up through the spinal column, which is called the hollow area, it's called the Sushumna, from the base of the spine up to the top of the head of the crown. All right, so the parasites itself impedes the process of the serpentine fire. All right. What happens is that those parasites, by them causing destruction in the body, and see, you got to understand that whenever you see the Kundalini energy, you always have two serpents wrapped around the base of the spine as it comes up in a crisscross pattern. That is on the that is the symbol of all hospitals around the world. All right, in particular here within the so-called United States, and that is a symbol of healing. So the Kundalini is supposed to produce healing effect within the body, not problems. So we know that it's not the Kundalini; it has to be the parasites that is causing a problem in the body.
Okay. And
but
you said No, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you said
I was going to go. Say that again.
No, you said you had another question. Go ahead.
Oh, about the heart and the feather. And so people, we're doing all this health stuff so we can live longer instead of getting to the chase and seeing where your heart going to weigh.
Well, see, the whole purpose of living longer is to eliminate as much karma as possible.
Oh,
so that
okay.
So the heart is lighter than the feather, because the more experience you go through, guess what? The more you come to the realization and wisdom that that was the wrong thing to do, and therefore you change and make those proper corrections.
Okay.
All right, that's the morality portion of that when you're dealing with the ancient Kemetic teachings. Of that I have not stolen, I have not bear false witness or have lied against someone. All of that is part of the 42 cardinal virtues of Mayat. You know what I'm saying? That's where the morality portion comes in at. And of course, you wouldn't need that if you already was at the epitome of your higher self. You only need that because we have fallen to such a state. That's portion of the fall of man, which is talking about the fall of consciousness. We fell from infinite consciousness to magnetic consciousness to super consciousness to subconsciousness to life consciousness to intrapersonal consciousness to interpersonal consciousness. You know what I'm saying? And that is demonstrated by the fact in which that the average person breathes about 18 breaths a minute. All right, which is the beast breath. 6 plus 6 symbolizes the beast breath. In other words, just dealing with the material plane. Me, myself, and I. You know what I'm saying? Type of mentality. But if you drop the breath to 9 breaths, or if you go to 7.5 breaths, 6 breaths, 4.5, 3 breaths, 1 breath, then you enter those various different conscious states, one being infinite consciousness. So it's in that particular regard. So the fall of man is talking about consciousness. And as long as you're dealing with different states of consciousness, then, you're always going to be dealing with different belief systems and different situations and events and problems on this plane of existence, called the third dimension.
So if you go early and you didn't have the wisdom and you didn't eliminate that karma and you reincarnate, do you get a chance to come back with some information, or are you starting with a fresh slate and trying to figure it out?
Well, remember I spoke about the fact that there's an animal in which that stands by the scales. The animal is called animate, in which that it eats the heart. It eats the heart, which means it eats the desires. It eats the memories of the individual. So you have to come back as Bobby said, you come back stuck in that in that little baby body, trying to express yourself, and the only thing and ain't nobody can understand what the hell you're saying until 2 or 3 years later.
Gotcha. Wonderful. You're excellent. I can't wait to come to Columbus.
But guess what? You do have access to your Akashic records, and that is at your medulla oblongata, which is at the back of the head. In Qigong and Tai Chi, what you would do is tap at the back of the head under the ball. You got like a when you feel your head, like there's like a little area where the spine comes up into the skull. Right there, that's where the medulla oblongata is located at. If you tap there 25 times, 3 times a day, you would gain access to your past lives. They would come to you by way of daydreams or in the dream world when you sleep at night. All right. So you have access to them Those incarnations of your past lives are stored in what is called the oversoul.
Okay.
Okay. So you
Wonderful.
still have access, but you don't have conscious access. You have to work at it.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Wonderful. Excellent.
All right.
Thank you. That's all I had.
All right. Appreciate you. Thank you.
Peace.
All right. Let's go to area code 850. Area code 850. You're on the line.
Yeah, hello?
Yeah, peace.
Yeah, this is the first time I ever contacted y'all. I heard you just this morning. I got y'all on YouTube, Brother Panic here, with another challenge for mastering a magical mind, right? And so I heard you when you gave out the number, and I said, wow, let me call, man, because hey, I've been listening to y'all a long time, man. I want to thank y'all for all the messages y'all been giving us.
Yeah, appreciate you for listening.
Yeah, and I would like to, if I could email y'all, I could get in contact, like getting books or either some like email. I could get I could buy some books, right? Hello?
Right. Let me give you my my website. Yeah, let me give you my website. The website is www.
Wait a minute.
Go ahead.
Wait, www.
.DRALIM ALIM, right? Alim as in apple, right? L as in loyal, I as in ice, M as in mother.
When you going too fast, you lost me. We old here. I'm on 170.
All right.
I got with DRALIM. I got there.
Right. EL. Right. ELBEY.
ELBEY. Okay.
Right.
The debate.
Right. E as in Edward. E as in Edward. L as in loyal. B as in boy. E as in Edward. Y as in yellow.
Yeah.
So DrAlimLbay.com. DrAlimLbay.com. Just check us out right there online, and you can get our email and also look at our products, brother.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to get some of your stones, your chakra stones. I would like that.
Right.
One of panic packs. I've been hearing about that.
Right.
Y'all been alive. Y'all saved my life from 2007. I didn't know where to go or what to do. So y'all back to consciousness. So I just want to thank you, man. I continue listening.
All right, appreciate you, brother. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, all right. We got area code 248. Area code 248. You on the line?
Hey, what's going on? Can you hear me?
Peace. We got you loud and clear.
All right. Hey, brother Alim, how you doing? My name's Rich, man, calling out of outside Detroit.
Right. The Big D.
The Big D. Yeah, man. Hey, man, I've been listening to your show for a few years, and I was calling out. I discovered something, which I talked with a few people, and let me ask you a question. Are you familiar with the former home of the Detroit Lions, like the Pontiac Silverdome, like the stadium? Out here in Detroit.
Yeah, what about it, brother?
What it is, remember when you mentioned, like, the heart has to be lighter than the feather as far as, like, to get to the new dimension as far as, like, you know, with all the karma and everything, right?
Right.
And what it was, I'll say about 6-7 months ago, I got that, what you call, that Godwin's Encyclopedia, Kabbalistic.
Mm-hmm.
And I was reading something. Now, the Pontiac Silverdome, which is the former home of the Detroit Lions, which currently does not have a rooftop. It does not have a rooftop. Right. I think the west, somehow it caved in. And what I figured out was the address that stadium sits on, the address number is 1200, which it sits on 1200 North Featherstone. Now, what it is, on the other side of the town, the big courthouse for the county, the Michigan 6th District Court, is 1200 North Telegraph, which in that Kabbalah encyclopedia, the number 1200 comes to the Shacks Goatia. So we talking about the Goatia sigil. Now check this out. The 44th Goatia sigil is the 44th, which right here in Oakland County in Royal Oak, Michigan, where I live at, there's the 44th District Court, which is the sub-court of the 6th District Court, 1200.
Right.
Now check this out.
Right.
The 44th Shacks Goatia says, deprives anyone of sight, hearing, or understanding, steals money from the houses of kings and carries again in 1200 years, fetches horses or anything else, discovers hidden things not kept by evil spirits, sometimes gives good familiars lies if not commanded to a triangle. What that is, when the Lions played at the Silverdome, or whoever has an event there, the sight, the hearing, and the understanding is taken when you're at a football game, correct?
Right, no doubt about it.
Okay,
especially
now when you walk
Super Bowl, remember the Super Bowl this past year with Beyonce when the lights went out. So that was symbolic also of taking away at the sight. Got you.
Right. It's not just there, it's all over. Right. It don't have to be that address. But what I noticed the most was the 44th District Court is a Masonic courthouse because it sits on a 45-degree angle and it resides on East 11 Mile Road, which 11 Mile represents the. You see what I'm saying? So it's definitely a ritual. But what it is, it's a Vatican ritual because if the rooftop of the dome which represents the mind, there's spirits getting poured into that arena. Although there's not a team playing there. So the complete Detroit area is under a major, what you call that, witchcraft spell.
Right, witchcraft, right. Or vortex in which that those negative entities can come through or use as a portal from the first and second overtone level of the astral plane. I got you.
Even though there's not a team playing there.
Right.
Damn, exactly. You got it right on the spot. I just called says Panic, Panic somewhere. I don't know where Panic at, but I have, just come add that to it.
Exactly. We don't know where he at, but we're gonna keep it going. Damn it! In his, we're gonna keep it going in his spirit. You know what I mean?
Right. Somebody got to pick that torch up. When when one soldier is not is warfare. When one soldier is on the bench or in rehab or something, whatever is going on, somebody always got to be there to substitute. That's warfare. So I appreciate it, man. I'm going to go ahead and fall off, man. I know you're going to build on the rest, but that's very important because that stadium sits on Featherstone. I know that's Vatican ritual. I know that is. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Yeah, we back. They must not like that shit. So what we getting ready to do now is continue on at the phone lines. We're going to go to area code 614. Area code 614, you on the line.
Yeah, you got to me already, Dr. Alim.
Okay. Let me go back to 330. You on the line.
Hello.
Peace.
Oh, so you can hear me?
Yes, we can.
Oh yeah, man. I've been listening to your show for 4 years.
Oh, word. Appreciate that.
You know what I mean? I mean, it was like fate. You know what I mean? I was kind of like all starting 2011 when the Earth shifted. You know what I mean?
Right.
and that's when I started browsing the internet, and I discovered Bobby Hemmett and
right.
and Bro Panic.
Right.
You know, I started having these. I started like doing these meditation, like 2007, and I started doing 2007. I started doing all the research. You know what I mean? So
right,
I'm like, I've been doing like 8 years of meditation. I'm like living in a hostile environment. You know what I mean?
Right.
This is like making it harder for me to even like do these meditation. It's like so much distraction.
Right.
I'm like in and out of the hospital every day. You know what I mean? I'm like, I started experience. You know what I mean? And I was like meditating, like trying to develop my contract, or like on 2008.
Right.
I saw my shadow, my own, spirit self. You know what I mean? It was like exactly what Bobby Hemmett showed what a spirit looked like. I saw my own spirit. You know what I mean? It was just, you know what I mean? I couldn't explain what happened in like 2011. You know what I mean?
Right. Did your spirit communicate to you? Did your spirit communicate to you?
No, maybe it did. No, it said like events. It wouldn't say one word.
Right.
You know, I had experience, one time, and I was like, went upstairs. I was walking upstairs, and I saw this person in a black cloth walk past me. You know what I mean?
Right.
It just disappeared, a flash of the blink of the eye. And I'm the only one inside.
Right, shadow being.
It was like, yeah, it was like black cloth, like straight Star Wars stuff, man. It was like Darth Vader, man. It was like a Jedi, man. It was like one of those spiritual experience, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? I mean, I had experience,
Right.
I had like, I'm listening to your show all day, you know what I mean? It was the first time I ever, talked to you, like, it's kind of, new to me, It's just that, I had experience, times, I mean, I'm just like wondering, like how long you been doing these meditation reach to your spiritual enlightenment?
I've been doing this since 9, brother.
Huh?
I've been doing this since I was 9 years old. As far as meditation.
9 years old?
Yeah.
Man. I be having these visions, you know what I mean? Like visions, you know what I mean? And I was like, I it's just one of those visions I have, and I just saw this big old purple eyes, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? It was just like one of those, like a third eye activation, you know what I mean?
Right. Right, the purple is the color of the crown chakra.
Huh?
I said purple is the color of the eye of the crown chakra. Yeah, purple, which is violet, also white, as well as also gold, and which that is the colors of the crown chakra.
Yeah. Man, I've been listening to I'm listening to Bobby Hemmett lectures and your lectures for like 4 years. I'm able to like deprogram my mind. Now, I never thought that I would ever encounter this spiritual teachers like you and Bobby Hemmett. It was like, man, I was just searching the internet, you know what I mean, and just seeking for knowledge.
Right.
No, I was still learning, and I was doing meditation, like meditating for 8 years, and then just going in a hospital. I'm living in a hostile environment. I'm just be like acting ugly all the time. I'm just irritated beyond words. I'm just like, you know what I mean? Sometimes just be like, frustrated. You know what I mean? This meditation I'm doing, I'm just like, it's just so much pressure and stress. You know what I mean? I feel like my higher self, like put me in a hostile environment. You know, just it's like push me, like something like kind of like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like some kind of like, I mean, I feel like my higher self, like kind of like,
I started beginning to learn about these chakras, in 2006, age 19. I started because my life was like pretty messed up. I felt like my life was getting worse every moment. And I just decided to search the internet, and I just found about these chakras. I started my own journey to this journey of the hero. Type of thing, like Jedi thing. I was
right.
I used to force to go to church all the time. When I was little, I got caught up in that Christian religion and stuff. But when I was younger, I was conscious. I be seeing these shadows when I was little. And I didn't know I couldn't explain what I saw. These shadows appearing, and I was so young, but I was conscious. But I was like, how I got here, and what was my purpose, and when, how, who, and what. It was so much questions I didn't know about. But I started doing research at age 19, and it was like I was just in the zone, man. I'm just like, I'm studying learning. I'm just, I spend a lot of weird things, like these dreams I have. I'm starting to, listen to lectures and stuff, and Bobby Hindley lectures. I started to deprogram. I started to decode my dreams and write things down what I dream about. I started having these astral travel experience. I started having these visions. I started decoding it and stuff, decoding movies and stuff, and I'm just like in this reach to the higher consciousness. To the point that I'm like no longer scared of the unknown. I'm like challenging myself. Did you have a question also? Did you have a question? Brother, did you have a question? Hello? Please, brother, can you hear me? Can you hear me? I was asking, did you have a question? Yeah. Oh, go ahead. Are you talking to me? Yeah, I was asking, did you have a question? Yeah, was it something that you wanted to build on, as far as, as a question? Talking to me? Yes. Oh, sorry. Bobby was talking about, being humble, a man can't be a man without the feminine. Can you describe about that? Right. Well, what Bobby is talking about is that the soul principle is feminine, and also on Earth, the first manifestation of life form, as far as in a human body, was that of the female. So even within 9 weeks within the womb, you will see the identical structure between the male and the female, which is that the male has the exact same structure as the female in womb up to in 9 weeks. So the feminine aspect is very important, not the on no homo shit, but in the sense of that you have to bring about the unification between the yin and the yang, which is the balance between feminine and masculine forces. Right now, as we go into this so-called new age, which is the age of Heru or the age of Aquarius, the feminine energy is on the rise, but it's being perverted by the establishment in order to effeminize the so-called black males or Moorish males into homosexuality. And, instead of using that energy properly in order to resurrect themselves. You know what I mean? So that's what's taking place right now. So if it comes down, if a man humble himself, and get in touch with the feminine side, you be like a man's man. Right, because even in martial arts, for example, when you have a lot of yang energy, which is masculine energy, you have to balance it with the yin energy, which is feminine energy, so that you become balanced. As far as the thought, which is the synergy between both hemispheres of the brain. The left brain symbolizes masculine, the right brain symbolizes feminine. So it symbolizes the synergy or the combining
of both hemispheres of the brain in order to bring that balance in which that is much needed.
So I got to merge the feminine.
Also good to meditating to God, because we need to be able to feel the spirit so we're in the right place at the right time. You know, it's really getting crazy, yo. People eating the children that have been missing, you know, being ground up in the food. That's crazy. So when we start activating and tapping into our higher selves, then, you know, prayerfully we'll change this world for the better. But we got some other callers, God. You can call us privately, and we can add on, because we appreciate that you patronizing us and that you're supporting this information. I mean, what point is the information if don't nobody want to hear it? So we really appreciate you. Area code 803.
Islam Moore.
Islam.
Hey, greetings. Peace to the sister also.
No doubt.
Yeah, man. Yeah, this is Kareem Bay calling you out of Carolina, representing Facade Morris ancestral lineage.
All right.
Yeah, was there for my brother. I just wanted to call for show, man, and send my peace and love and blessings out to you, bro. You know, you do well, and you sure. That's right, and you do your duty, my brother. And I want to continue to strive behind you, my brother, but not necessarily behind you in the ways of rank, but more so behind you from your duties, brother, because you indeed are worthy for that cause at this particular time, my brother. I feel the ancestors. That's right. I feel the ancestors coming through you, and you run through me, and the rest of the brothers and sisters who represents those things in which you represent, which is that oneness, my brother, and bringing back that throne in the ways. Now, I know we were speaking on the metaphysical means in a higher form through these energies, and I recall a caller spoke in, and the phone went blank for a moment. We started speaking about these rituals and different things that exist.
Right. Exactly.
So some individuals don't understand the aspects of how these energies and these planes move, and the being consists of these things through the magnetics of the mind, which is the master.
That's right. That's right.
However, individuals can bring things into existence without even knowing they've been bringing these things into existence simply because they're unconscious from the ways of their movement through their powers and energy forces.
That's right.
You know? And on the aspects of the metaphysics, I think my brother, and really speaking to the sisters and everyone out there listening, you know, we have to also not necessarily focus on the esoteric form of these sciences, but we have to also go into the interior states that exist inside the being. You know, because a lot of individuals are separating themselves, and we understand that we are all from the same atom. We're all from the same forces of the energies and the power and elements that exist inside of each individual being.
That's right.
So I just want to. That's right. So, you know, my brother, brother, it's hard to kind of ask you a question, my brother, because, I mean, you touch the surface, brother, because you're 360, you know. So I understand, brother, like myself, when I do call in and just continues to add on until I know the time comes, we can seek ourselves on that physical level and we can pay that true respect to each other, you know. So I'm just keep listening in, man, and sending my love out, brother. You know, we over here, the Carolinas over here, represent Facade, man. We behind you all, man. Each other 100%, bro. You know, we true living, bro. You can believe that, son. Islam, Hotel, Shalom, and everything else, my brother.
No doubt. We appreciate that. We appreciate that. Speaking of that, for those who's in the Carolinas and outside of the Carolinas, we got an event coming up March 21st, 22nd, and 23rd, in which that we'll be dealing with this type of information. We'll be dealing with Qigong, Tai Chi, praying and healing, Reiki, Kundalini Yoga, astrology, numerology, metaphysics, esoteric teachings, the occult, rituals, and we'll be dealing with everything that you can possibly think of for those 3 days. That's March 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. First World Order Radio, United Washita presents the Healing Wings Conference. All right, that's March 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. It's going to be located here in North Carolina at 2188 White Oak Road, Kelly, North Carolina, 28448. That's 2188 White Oak Road, Kelly. That's Kelly, North Carolina, 28448. So get your GPSs ready because for those who need to come, want to come, desire to come, come. All right, so y'all can get this information firsthand. We're going to be dealing with Qigong, with, dealing with first and second and third certification, Reiki and Ushi Reiki, Segmat Reiki, and Tibetan Reiki, Reiki 1, 2, and 3. So you get attuned to the Reiki master level or teacher level, just like I did with Brother Panic and his wife, Khadija, all right, and also Brother King Cook, all right, as well as also y'all can come and, get, all this information that you hear me spit, on the higher levels here. So, come on and check us out, March 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. Let's go to the phone lines. We're going to area code 512. This is my man, Mike.
Peace, my brother, Alim. How you doing, God?
I'm doing good, God. How you doing tonight?
I was going to say I took a long nap, but earlier, basically I got in my zone. I was doing the microcosmic orbit just enough, and I felt, the breath just, it's not, you ain't even got to worry about, I mean, you still incorporate the, the penis, the phallus, but it's like the breath just, took over me. But you spoke on that before. Does that mean the Kundalini has risen?
Well, basically, it's been magnetized in order to rise, and you do that by way of the Shakti, the magnetic energy, or that cool sensation of which that pulls up through the spinal column. And it happens, especially when you do the Cobra breath technique. Of course, with the Cobra breath technique, you get 1, 2, 3, 4 initiation of the Cobra breath technique, and the last 3 you get initiated by Baba G, on the astral plane. He give you the last 3, through that instruction, and that comes by way of your practice on a daily basis of either you being initiated to Cobra breath 1, Cosmic Cobra breath 1, 2, or 3. So it's 7 levels in total. So, right now what you're feeling
I felt
is the magnetizing, of that Shakti energy, which is part of the Kundalini Shakti, to raise up to become part of Kundalini Shiva.
Yeah, is that like I'm saying, the full body orgasm? I mean, if you've done that, does that mean the Kundalini has risen, or
yes, that means it is magnified itself beyond the 10% level of the normality, which that we are presently with. Like we said, presently the average person only uses 10% of the brain, 10% of the DNA, 10% of their vision as far as looking out at the night sky, as well as also only 10% of their Kundalini energy. So what you have done is magnified it, or expanded, I should say. All right, and by expanding it, yes, you have gone beyond the 10% level, in which that now the energy is producing through and running through the course of your meridians and your nadis. So that's what produces a full body orgasm, is when that energy goes through, basically it's like lighting up your body like a Christmas tree, as we would say. And that's what produces that the whole body orgasm, because you feel the energy pulling from each of your extremities. You feel it pulling from your arms, from your torso, from your legs, from your head.
Yeah, I just felt like awoke today with so much energy, and like you always said, like it crucifies the lower nature. So even like thoughts that like used to tamper or mess with me, it's just like it's burning away. Not that I ever really did anything that bad or anything. It feels like it's being, or it's been burned away. So that's definitely God's state. I mean, it's like you can see from such a different perspective, you know, and the things that, say, maybe you were not, you didn't think you were good as before, but when you see from this, you know, you can kind of study all areas, you know.
No doubt.
I was just going to say, because I fell asleep listening to Montage Chia, so I want to make sure that if this is the macrocosmic technique, is it when it rises from the perineum and then it goes over the head and then down the torso and then out through the feet, and then rises up the back of the legs?
Nah, that's the macrocosmic orbit technique that you're talking about. And what happened is that you store up the energy in your lower dantian, which is your navel, pull it down to your perineum, up through your spine to the top of your head, and back down to the perineum. And that's just on, just the breath itself, just on the inhale. As you exhale, then you move it from the perineum down the back of the legs, over, under the feet, over top of the feet, to the knees, to the thighs, back to the perineum. All right? So your inhalation, the inhale is go right. Remember, what I was talking about is the class experience, in which that I was talking about activating your foot chakras so that you can learn how to ground energy. All right? But right now, we're just talking about how to do it, beyond the grounding of energy and opening of the bubbling spring, which is at the sole of the feet. You know what I'm saying? See, cats don't really want to get detailed about this shit because, they rather be surface dwellers and just, look at this from a surface means. But, we really get deep in class, and get specific in detail, for those that want to learn about the Science of Healing Wings Institute and what we teach in class. Brother Mike is part of the class. That's why he asking this question. So, I sent you the books. Hopefully you got them, and check them out. Portions of it is in there, and we're gonna give up the rest of the portions Sunday. I'm gonna get back to this phone line though because I got a lot of callers. So,
peace, brother.
Mike, appreciate you, brother, for calling in, and we're gonna get up Sunday, and you know where to reach me at, and all right, one.
All right, take it easy, brother.
Peace. All right, we got area code 313. Area code 313. You on the line?
On Dr. Alim Bey, it's a big time pleasure for me to talk to you. I have been experiencing. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can, brother. Appreciate you calling.
Oh, okay. I have been experiencing seeing triple threes and double threes a lot as within the past maybe about past 4 or 5 months. And what's fun, well, obviously I'm asking you about it, but what's funny about it is that I'm a third, my suffix is third. Both of my work phone number and my cell phone number.
Right, exactly.
Right, exactly.
Triple three symbolizes Ein Sof and Ein Sofi which is symbolic to 3 trimester periods within the woman's womb. The first 3 months, the second 3 months, and the third 3 months, which 3 times 3 is the number 9. So 3 plus 3 plus 3 is what we just talked about, which comes to the number 9, which means to born or to bring a thing into existence. That's what that is symbolic to, brother.
So,
That means that particular energy is around you right now in order to manifest what you want in life and what you desire to really do. That's what that means. See, when you start seeing specific numbers, those numbers, just like animals,
just like people, it signify some type of correspondence emotionally and mentally, you know what I'm saying? For example, if you see a cat run across the road, all right? Cat symbolizes, just like dog symbolizes a form of protection, you know what I'm saying? Especially if the cat is not biting you, you know what I'm saying, or whatever the case is. Now, if the cat is biting you, then, you know, it would symbolize that, basically that not only do you have, I guess you would say, an enemy, but that the enemy is close upon you, in which that may even be causing you some type of problems because, like we said earlier about negative thought forms. All right, so negative thought forms, people have a tendency of being able to impinge upon your auric field, in which that causes them leaks and holes. So if it's biting you, and if you see in a dream, or even if you know in real life, and it actually is biting you, and it actually draws blood, then that actually what could be the symbology meaning behind it. All right, and this is either in so-called apparent world or even in the dream world, so it doesn't change. The same problem is based on that. And also to see a cat symbolizes an independent spirit, also feminine sexuality or creativity and power. That's if it's not harming you, all right? But if it's harming you, then it also represents misfortune and bad luck. So, we just put it like that, all right?
Wow.
But, that's what the number symbolizes. The positive thing is that it symbolizes the bring of the thing into existence, the born of thing into existence. So that means that type of energy is around you, since everything is 333. All right, that means you have the ability in order to tap into the unknown and to manifest what you want here in this reality or apparent reality.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow, that's great. Okay. Do you have time for another question or no?
I'm gonna hold you on. I'm gonna come back to you. Just hold on. Let me try to get as many other ones out the way.
Okay.
Hold on, okay?
Thank you. Yeah.
All right. You got international call 111. You on the line?
Peace. What's good, man?
Peace. How you doing?
All right. You check that article out about those ships up there on Mars? I mean, on the moon?
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it. Well, we've been knowing that in the area of Cydonia, which is the area where they found the pyramids, the area where their faces on Mars, the area where they found golden glass-like structures. They also found ships. They also found other types of crafts. They found all types of things because if you read in the Zulu Bone Oracle by Credo Mutwa, who's a South African shaman, he speaks about the fact that before we came to the planet Earth, we resided on Mars. The Zulu people, known as the Amazulu, the word Amazulu means sky people. So that's where we were, was on the fifth planet before we came to this one, which was our sixth planet. We are planet jumpers, all right? And we do that by way of the macabre, by transforming our bodies into ships, all right? This is a technique in which that I learned in the Flower of Life meditation by Druvalo Melchizedek, called the 18th breath, the 24th breath, and the 28th breath technique, in which they transform your body into a ship called a macabre. These techniques was taught to the ancients on Mars, and the men impregnated the women, and the women arrived here upon planet Earth, all right, ready to give birth to these to the new life here upon this planet. This is the way in which that Credo Mutwa breaks down this information, okay?
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's deep though, But yeah,
appreciate you sending that article, brother. Definitely got a chance to peep it. My wife showed it to me and everything. And I said, oh yeah, brother was doing it.
Yeah, they had another one too. They was talking about King Tut and how he was mummified with his phallus on,
right, straight up. It was on the hard. That's right, because he came in the image of men, which is a form of Amen, who was the fertility deity. And every time you see him on the walls of ancient Egypt, his penis is erect, symbolizes the resurrection or the Ra erection.
Yeah, but they took my man Phallus and everything though.
Oh yeah, they always do that. I mean, they did that to Malcolm X. When he died, they went back and checked the body. When the Muslims wrapped him up and took off them damn European that European suit. Well, it ain't really European. It's Yoruba, but it came from out of Nigeria. But the Europeans got in, ran with it. But anyway, when they took him out that suit, you know what I'm saying, and they wrapped his body up, they found out that his genitals was missing. All right, so that symbolizes, the castration symbolizes, the taking away of his manhood. You know what I'm saying? The European has all types of rituals in which this is the reason why we have to learn this shit right now. So in order to protect ourselves and our ancestors, you know what I'm saying, and our people to come. But let me get back to the phone lines here, brother.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, but they some straight cannibals, man. How they did the Sister Henrietta Lacks, because they turn her cells into medication.
How they took her cells, her cervix cells, and then use them in the base for the vaccines. Also Sarah Barton, how they took her buttocks and put them on display at the goddamn museum. You know what I'm saying? In the British Museum. And if it wasn't for, for the Hottentots of South Africa, the Bushmen of South Africa, along with Mandela, Nelson Mandela, he asked for the remains of Sarah Barton to be returned back to South Africa. All right, they did the same thing. They stuffed the body of Angelo Solomon. You know what I'm saying? Who is one of the founders of Freemasonry in Europe. You know what I'm saying? He was a Moor, and they stuffed his body. You know what I'm saying? And put it on display. So yeah, they have a sick fascination with us, man.
And how the 300,000 missing children in North America, they're using their blood, in their rituals of Passover, and then selling the remains to McDonald's. So they got people eating the missing children. And how they put the newspapers in Trayvon Martin's body. So we got to meditate. We need to be in the right place at the right time, and we need to be activating these superpowers.
Exactly. That's what Dick Gregory was talking about, is that, when they took and checked Trayvon Martin's body, his organs was missing. And his body was stuffed with and his insides was stuffed with newspaper. So we got to watch this shit. You know what I'm saying? We're dealing with cannibalistic beings on this planet. David Icke referred to them as the reptilians, but we just refer to them as Neanderthals. They're the Neanderthals or devils. They got 4% of the Neanderthal genes, and and if you look up any article about the Neanderthal, you'll find that they was cannibalistic. Being that the European and portions of the Asians still have this 4% Neanderthal gene. Dr. Phil Valentine spoke about it, that they still have the tendency towards cannibalism. You know what I'm saying? And that doesn't go outside of Africans, you know what I'm saying? And us particularly, we practice this shit too in church every Sunday, at least once a month. We do communion, talking about this is the body of Christ and this is the blood of Jesus. You know what I'm saying? We doing that same bullshit too. So we are raised in that same mentality. All right, so let me go to area code 216. Area code 216, you on the line.
Hello?
Yes, peace.
What's going on, Alim? This is Marvin from Cleveland, man.
All right, brother. How you doing?
I'm good. I got hip to y'all brothers through Panic, listening to Panic and Bobby. I just got conscious. Right. I went through Panic's class, and then I actually went to your website, man. You got so much stuff on there. It was like, it took me an hour to go through everything. But I just appreciate y'all just helping me get conscious and develop myself spiritually. And I went through the class with Panic, and then I hear you talking about the breath, and I just wanted to know if you can elaborate more on the breathing techniques, because now I just got the herb pack from Panic, and I'm ready to really go in and get this work going.
Right. Well, the breath, what it does, brother, is that the breath helps with everything in your physical body, your circulation, your lymphatic system, your digestive system, your mentality as far as solving stress, being calming yourself from a stressful, emotional, or mental situation. The breath does all of that. The breath is what raises the kundalini
in order to out of the lower self into the higher self. Now the four devils, which is called the four lower chakras, the heart chakra, which is conditional love, the solar plexus, the navel chakra, and the base chakra. Those four chakras dies along with the physical body, and the energy itself returns back to the realm of form. The three higher chakras remain and survive death. This is called your aku or your ku, which is your throat chakra, your third eye, which is your spiritual chakra, and then your crown chakra, which is your soul chakra, which is the ka and the ba. So your aku, ka, and the ba survive death and is like an egg. So what happens is that you must raise your kundalini into your higher body, in which that symbolizes the heart being lighter than a feather. Anytime that your kundalini can't raise above the heart chakra, then you are in problems of having to reincarnate. So the whole science about breath is mastering the science of breath, and one of the techniques is learning how to expand your chakras. You know what I'm saying? By via way of the expansion of your aura. And like we said earlier, there's three pranic healing techniques in which that, or breath techniques in which that one is called empty retention, in which that there's no particular count. You just simply breathe in, hold your breath, breathe out, hold your breath. All right. Another one is 6-3-3. So you would breathe in for 6 seconds, hold it for 3 seconds, breathe out for 6 seconds, hold it for 3 seconds. Another one is 7-1-7-1. You breathe in for 7 seconds, hold it for 1 second, breathe out for 7 seconds, hold it for 1 second. So once you learn these particular breath techniques, your aura will expand from 3 feet to 15 feet outside of you. And a master, once they master the science of breath to such an extent over years and years and years, can actually stretch their auric field outside of them a mile. All right. When you learn the breath technique, how to activate and transform your body into a macabre, which is the 18 breath, the 24 and the 28 breath technique, your aura flattens into like a circular UFO shape structure and spans out 55 feet in perimeter. All right, and you and another person who learn how to do the technique can actually blast off and take 144,000 with you. So that is part of the information in which that you would get also from Vallo's Melchizedek books, Flower of Life, Volume 1 and Volume 2. So the science of breath is very important. Learn also the alternating nostril breath technique. You would breathe in, hold your right nostril closed, breathe in through your left nostril for a count of 4, then hold both nostrils closed for a count of 16, and then breathe out your right nostril for a count of 8. So the count is 4, 16, 8. And you'll alternate back and forth between on 20 sets. What happens is that synergizes both hemispheres of the brain and open both nostrils so that you can breathe simultaneously through both nostrils instead of like the average person that, one of the nostrils is clogged up every damn 2 hours, which shows that they have an excess, they have an excess of mucus, in their body.
Yeah, because I know I experienced that. I've been practicing certain breathing techniques. I read out of Mantak Chia's book about cultivating male sexual energy. I've been practicing those techniques there, and then the 6-4-6 breath, I think you said, in the Astral Travel book, Astral Travel for Beginners. And I keep experiencing that whole thing about the nostrils being clogged up and being congested and shit like that. So is it something that I keep practicing, or is it?
Right. Keep practicing, but also drink more water. And also, you can take in your water, make sure it's alkaline. You can put also a little bit of sea salt or baking soda, or you can also put hydrogen peroxide. Okay. You want to be able to put a little bit of one of those three into it. You don't have to put all three, but one of those three into your water. And what that does, the salt, sea salt, and the baking soda have a tendency of being able to remove excess mucus. You can also use certain herbs such as yellow dock, chaparral, burdock, golden seal, dandelion, milk thistle. You know what I'm saying? So those herbs also
excess mucus in the body, and also
Okay.
mulling. But thank you, bro. Appreciate you calling in.
Oh yeah. I'll be checking out that class too, man. I'm about to make the arrangements soon, man, so I can get down there in March.
All right, appreciate that, brother. Can't wait
All right,
to see
thanks,
you.
man.
All right. All right.
Also, make sure you RSVP at the website, dralimlbay.com. You can RSVP at the calendar and events. You can also prepay, too. Also, too, God, the brother said that we have a lot on our website. We're doing that so that we can balance economics in the community more than, than it did in Black Wall Street. So it's a beautiful thing.
All right, we have a Minty, astrology. You're on the line.
Yeah, I just had a question about the Indians. Why do they wear the red dot on their head when that's the pineal gland, which is purple, and the red dot is the root chakra? So why do they wear that color on their head, and why do they wear it so big?
Well, what it is that they want to raise the red chakra, the kundalini from the red chakra, which is the base chakra, root chakra, up to that third eye area, just like you would see the serpent coming from out of that same area on the ancient Egyptian tiaras or crowns in which that they wore. You would see the serpent coming out right there, right above the, in the center, in between what is called the third eye, up above the eyebrows. So, that's the reason why they wear red, is because prana is also red, and the kundalini is a form of prana. Kundalini is actually the concentration of prana within the body, and prana is the color red. So remember, the slowest spectrum of light on the planet is what forms your physical body, and that is red light. The fastest spectrum of light is violet. All right, so yes, it does symbolizes the crown chakra, or the in that regard. But when the kundalini rises, they have it as the color red because it symbolizes them raising their lower chakra into their higher self or their immortal body.
And I don't. Why do they? Okay, I understand that they're like vegetarian and they live that kind of lifestyle, but yet the foods that they eat, they don't wear deodorant and stuff, but the food that they eat contradict what they do. Like, they eat kind of savage and like food, even though they claim they don't eat meat. You understand what I'm saying? And the spices that they wear, like, do they bathe? What is the purpose of them not wearing not underwear but deodorant? And they still have that odor. Like, is that on purpose? What's the purpose of that?
Well, the spices in which that they take large amounts of is curry, which is actually turmeric, in which that has the ability in order to cure a person from cancer. So they take large amounts of that. They put that in their food, and the fact of them not wearing deodorant, because the majority of the deodorants that's out on the market is aluminum based. And when aluminum is stored in the body, it can cause Alzheimer's and dementia. So people don't want that. So what it is, they want, right, and also lymphomic cancer. So what it is that they want something more natural. And yes, I'm pretty sure that they know about some of this information now. There's natural crystals in which that a person can use as deodorant. There's also baking soda and different other things that can be used, lemon juice. So, just about a person finding their way as far as within a culture. And it's just like the 100 monkey theory. Once one monkey do one particular thing, then the whole community would begin to start doing the same thing.
I'm just saying, because I watched the show Bizarre Foods, so he goes to different cultures, and I don't, if you're going to live this lifestyle, but yet the food contradicts, even with the Pakistanis, the food that they eat is disgusting, but they don't eat pork, and then they don't wear deodorant. That's why I asked that question. I was trying to understand it.
Right. Well, it's everybody have a different culture, which that, if you do real historical research, you will find that there's problems with everybody's culture on the planet. There's things that you're not going to agree with. You know what I'm saying? For example, if you consider yourself an African, there were certain tribes in which that dealt with cannibalism.
If you consider yourself a Native American, you might not like the fact that when you came into a particular village, the chiefs or the males would offer their wives, what I'm saying, to be sexually intimate, with the stranger who was visiting to the camp. So there's things within cultures in which that you're not going to agree totally with. And the thing is about cultures that they always can be defined, redefined. So, don't get caught up into just, things of a particular culture because, the whole thing of mastering these these higher principles is to develop the highest form of culture upon this planet. And as we see, there is a force on this planet that's attempting not to allow us to do so, and not to be free thinkers, but to keep us trapped in religion, belief system, in which that is actually detrimental to our own existence.
And one quick question. I'm also from North Carolina, like 30 minutes from you. What do you say to the people from up north that's coming down south? Do you believe that's a part of why the southern weather has gotten so cold, or why the energy in the south has shifted because the people from up north are coming down there now?
Well, what happened is that over from December 21st, 2012 until December 21st, 2013, there was a shift in the fields of the sun, the magnetic fields of the sun. The sun fields flipped. So the north magnetic field became the south magnetic field, or vice versa. So that is actually what is taking place right now. There's a polar vortex in which that scientists are claiming, in which that has manifested, in which that is coming to the north and south poles. So this energy is being shifted. And see, during this process, you have the Albion, or the European, which that is doing a lot of HARP system and chemtrailing. So all of this is playing into the effect of the climate and the weather conditions in which that is, in the South and throughout actually the whole of America and around the world.
Well, one more thing. I just noticed, like, a lot of New Yorkers, even myself, like, a lot of brothers and sisters are suddenly, like, waking up one day and like, yo, I'm leaving. I don't want to be here anymore. And they just pack their stuff up and go. Suddenly quit their job, whatever they have to do, and just go down south. That's why I posed that question. It seems like we're all leaving. Even myself, like one day I woke up and was like, yo, I'm not going to be here another such and such years. I'm going to be back down south, So, yeah, that's why I posed that. Yeah, that's it.
Exactly, and I mean, and that is part of the awakening. Remember when I talk about the fields changing, there's solar plasmic energy which is brought on the planet Earth from the sun. It's called solar wind. It's also referred to it's called coronal mass ejections, which is coming off from the sunspot activities from the sun, in which that is causing subtle changes in our DNA, which is called the awakening. In which that is causing us to move down south, further south, where it is warmer, in which that is more conducive to our melanin, state.
Well, thank you for
to add on, New York is supposed to be flooding. A lot of people have been having horrible dreams about it. So, it could be the vibration telling everybody to get the safety. It's going to be difficult to evacuate New York, being an island and being also a bridge. Them bridges already be jam-packed. During rush hour and whatnot. So it might be for protection.
Right. Exactly. And my wife is saying that because on the new $100 bill, there's a video on YouTube in which that shows and demonstrate that that the possibilities that between New York and Detroit there might be a gigantic water flood in which that would take place, some type of tsunami, based on when you put it into an airplane, just like they did with the $1 bill, the $5 bill, the $10 bill. When you fold those, as well as also the $20 bill, when you fold them, they also have traces of what took place in 9/11. But if you fold the new $100 bill into a airplane condition, you find on it flooding of a major city in which that summer city was either New York or either Detroit. So that is definitely to watch out for, and that might be also, like my wife was talking about, the reason why you had to urge you to get the hell out of Dodge. Because I'm also from New York, I'm also from New York, so I've been had that feeling to get the hell up out of Dodge a long time ago. All right, appreciate you guys for giving us a call in. I'm getting ready to go to the phone lines. Area code 4. You on the line?
Peace.
Peace.
Peace. What's going on? Well, I wanted to say something, make a statement that was going to lead into a question. I wanted to bring it back to the chakra. All right, and I was building with myself and then thinking on the day of the week, representatives of each chakra, you know what I mean? And I have an understanding of 3 of the days. What I would like for, someone to know, or if you know how to, you can fill in the other missing days. Well, to me, Monday, represents the base chakra, the bowels of the chakra, which would elaborate mundane, okay? And then Saturday, right? To me, Saturday is a day that, I looked up either Sat or Saturn, and the definition of it broke down to like masculine and feminine, you know what I mean? Of course, dealing on principles, but masculine and feminine, like it was neuter, you know what I mean? It was a neuter word, which meant, to me, the third eye, and where actually the masculine and feminine principles meet at that chakra, you know what I mean? Because we say 85% of the chakra is the feminine principle, you know what I'm saying? So the feminine actually meets with the masculine principle at that point, right? And then, of course, have Sunday, which represents the crown chakra, the sun, you know what I mean, so on and so forth, you know what I mean? But I wanted to know if you could fill in the spaces, you know what I'm saying, because I haven't really gotten or figured out the rest of them.
Right. Well, based on astrology, when you do your research on that, you find out that Sunday symbolizes the crown chakra because of the sun. And then when you have what is called, quote unquote, illumination, and you do your research and study and you come from out of the darkness into the light, your pineal gland becomes fully activated. It produces a sun disk illumination around the head called a halo or a helios.
Exactly, right.
Right, so yes,
right.
Sunday symbolizes that illumination. The reason why they also have church on Sunday is because of that same reverence to the sun, claiming that the pagans or the indigenous people were sun worshippers. But we understood that we was melanated and therefore we needed the sun, and to be in the sun at least 1 to 3 hours a day as compared to the European who can only be in the sun for 15 to 20 minutes. And the screen block, because of the fact of, because they can, catch carcinoma or melanoma. All right, so Sunday is definitely the day of the illumination. Saturday deals with Saturn, in which that would be correlated to actually our base chakra or root chakra, which is the resonance, which is symbolic to lead. All right, the sun is symbolic to gold. So Saturday would be symbolic to lead, which is Saturn, in which that is Saturday, in which that is the root of base chakra. All right. Monday would be symbolic to the pituitary gland, which is in the head also, but it is based on the moon, or or what is called moon day. All right, the moon day. All right. Then you have Tuesday, in which that is symbolic to the warrior spirit, in which that actually symbolizes the solar plexus. All right. Then you have Wednesday, in which that would, Wednesday would be symbolic, to, something to the navel, you know what I'm saying? And then you have Thursday, in which that would be symbolic to, the heart, and then you have Friday, which would be symbolic to the throat chakra. Right. So it depends on what books that you read. The good book in order to go through that is written by Rudolf Steiner out of the Anthroposophical Society. Another good book would be dealing with that type of would be Manly P. Hall in his Secret of All Ages. Okay? Those are the two books that I can think of right now off the top of the head.
Okay. All right. I appreciate that, brother. And just one more thing, you know what I mean, to add on to the conversation that was going on. Never mind, I lost train of thought, brother. I mean, I'm still digging on what I first said. But go ahead.
It's all right.
Peace,
if you need, right, if it comes back to mind, just hold on and call back in or hit 1, I should say, okay?
Okay, peace. I appreciate that.
Peace. All right. We got area code 910. Area code 910, you on the line.
Hello.
Peace. Greetings.
How's everybody doing? I'm sorry. I had asked you, private message you and asked you about what was a good book for pranic breathing, and you gave me the one that's on your website. So I'm like actually looking at it now. That's why I was on the phone line trying to get through. But right now, I just really appreciate all the information y'all are putting out there, and I'd rather someone else ask a better question because right now listening is doing me better than actually asking a question.
Okay. All right. Well, appreciate you listening, about it. All right.
All right. Thank you.
All right. We got area code 505. 505. You're on the line.
Serene B.
Greetings, peace.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Oh, all right. How you doing? I'm Mashayo Shiva, and I'm up here in New Mexico. And,
all right.
I don't know if you have ever talked about it on the show before, or, or heard about it. Have you ever heard them about the cremation of diamonds, cremating your loved ones, as they would say? You ever heard of that?
Yes, I've heard of that.
Have y'all talked about that on the show? Oh, okay.
No, we haven't
talked
about that on the show. No, not yet, but that's a good show topic. We can definitely get into it.
Well, that's something you need to look into because when you were talking about a lot of our people coming up missing, what they do, they use they're cremating them and they're putting the ashes, they're making them into diamonds. So you think about it, they're using the energy.
Because we're carbon, and what is carbon? Carbon is nothing more than when heat and friction is added to carbon, it forms a diamond. So definitely.
About it, so that it's that energy, and right now you're looking at it, that dark matter or that dark energy, that melanin is what they want. Like they said, that's $1 billion industry right now. So they're getting it in every way they can, wearing it on their body, and they're trying to. You know what? A good example that it's a series maybe, or it was a movie or something called Daybreakers. I don't know if you ever heard of it or saw it.
I've seen it.
But Daybreakers, you did?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so you remember the part where
that's like the same dude that was in Daybreaker. The same dude that was in Daybreaker was the same dude that was in that played Frost in Blade.
Yeah. Yep. So you know what I'm talking about then. So at that part where they was putting the blood in, and it started at 6, right? And then as they added the blood, it started going up. The numbers started going up, but they was trying to keep them down. The further up it went, like it got close. When it hit 7, it just burst out everywhere. And people don't. If you look at the symbolic meaning of that, the 6. When they come out the 666, they saying the awakening of the beast. That's awakening of the energy, us. And what happens is when we awaken, that means we on the verge. So when we rise up, 7 means completion. That's the man coming. He's awakening. Here's the 9 coming now. That's why you see so much about the female coming in and excuse the strong language, whatever, ass. That's what you're seeing. But you see a lot of that, and they're using that back part of it because, that back part of it, when you go through the butthole, that brings in the negative or the ill-willed entity. And through the, those rituals they be doing. So in the midst of that, that's why they doing, they're trying to use the feminine energy. Well, right now, because the 7 has awakened, which is the men, which now they have awakened to the feminine energy. That's what that dude was talking about when he seen the 333s, which goes to that 9, which is the feminine 9. As we say, call it sun. Well, as the ancient ascendants have shown me that the ancient word for it is in. And when you see energy, think about it. Enslavement, energy, slave. So you think about the whole energy. So you're taking this thing with the diamonds and you're cremating them, and they wearing it around their body, the energy. So at the same time, if you continue to elevate, they trying to, just like in Daybreak, they trying to figure out a way to live, and you know what I'm saying, to accelerate, because what's going on is as we awakening, that energy is rising up. That's why you see so much crazy stuff going on right now. Like up here in New Mexico, they're asking they want it to snow, they want rain or whatever. But like I said, that energy that you emit out, and that's the key thing, like you said, we are that energy. And we have to learn to emit that out.
Right.
We truly look, like they said, the DNA, divide, neutralize, alter. That's what that is. If you think about it, what do they use DNA for? They use it for that. In everything they do, they use it for that. But when we rise from that stage, we're no longer in that DNA form. We don't no longer produce the DNA, but we're producing ENE, energy navigating through the elements, energy navigating through the universe. You see what I'm saying? So when you got that and you come into your energy form, that's why you're saying with the food and everything, we got to rise up. And the more and more of us that rise up into that ENE stage, which is energy, it's going to emit more rays, as they would say, from the sun. That's why you got so much stuff going on. So when people start awakening and learning how to navigate that energy, emit that energy out to accelerate it, then wherever you are, it does not matter. Like, for instance, if it's snowing or it's raining, whatever, over here where we're at, we don't get snow. We elevate some say meditate, but I look at meditate as medicate. And you look at what medication do. So we say elevate. We, all of us get together and we elevate at 9 o'clock a.m. and 9 o'clock at night. So we're elevating our energy, excelling. So that means even when it's snowing up here or be crazy, over in our area, it'd be like sun, as they would say. When we say but it'd be like, it's just pretty. And up here, they'd be like, darn, okay, another pretty day. It's like they want chaos. And it's like they have to live in chaos. That's just how they are. But we have to learn to emit our energies out. We are energy. That's what we are.
Right, we're light beings, no doubt about it. We're Ethereans, light beings, no doubt about it. Right.
So looking at the cremation thing, because if you look at a lot of people coming up missing, you think about it, if they got that and they're cremating and wearing this on their body, you know what I'm saying? That's your essence, your quintessence and stuff. That ran around the body, you know what I'm saying? So these folks are doing some crazy. They even using the dog. It's a commercial where it says it's a commercial where they got the animals on there, the dogs and horses and stuff, and the hearts of the angel. It's on my page. I have to look at it and call back in the next show and tell you which one it was. But if you look at it, I don't know if you ever heard or you talked about National Humane Society. Have you ever heard of orbs and rods and stuff like that? Y'all talk about those?
Oh, yeah, we talk about those. Yes.
Okay. You will see going around the dog. You will see them around the dog. It looks like a fly at first. When you see it, you'll start seeing the orbs going around the dog and the little rod, because they was using a camera that had infrared, and the dog was actually like in some kind of space where it's dark, so they had to put the infrared camera on when they was recording. When you got an infrared camera, you can start to see the orbs in the little rod. Like if anybody got a camera, if you take notice of that, you'll start to see certain stuff like that. And those things only harbor around energy. So that goes back into telling you about other situations, about when dogs say, when people say dogs can see other spirits and stuff around. These are things like you say, we going on to another higher level.
Right.
That's how I'm talking, and that might be something else to look into even more about them using it, because they doing that stuff over in China and stuff like that. And man, this is getting ridiculous. That's why people come up missing now, because they trying to survive. And they like, we gotta be able to absorb this energy, but they can't. They can't do it. It's not even, even with the airplanes and all that stuff, they didn't try to do that over here. And as soon as we get the elevator, guess what happens? It shines bright, clears that shit out. Every time. You have to learn to elevate your energy. We are energy navigating through the elements. Energy navigating the elements. So if we learn to do that and rise up, but like you said, it goes back to that heart. You have to have an eternal, serene heart to get to that point. Another topic, I'm gone. Another topic to look into, that word love. Look deep into that word love and see the metaphors of that. That word love, what do you use love in? Now, I'm gonna just say how the ancient ascendants told me to look into it, what made me search it. We use, in our KABBALAH, which they say there's tribes, we use eternal. That means no beginning, no end. That means it's not conditional, it don't stop, it don't end. That means my heart is eternal. We are eternal. So we don't use love. Why? How you gonna say, oh, I love you, honey, and then you in the bed, you come out from, I love you, or make love to me, then you tell your child the same word, I love you. Ain't that kind of like twisted? But we wondering why we got these old sexual ill will parasites out here molesting and raping children, talking about we love them. The children love. You see that word? See, that was one of them spell words, that energy glitch. That was one of them words. So we have to be careful about the words that we use. We put our own self under spells and shit, and we don't even realize it. They've been using that love thing for a long time, and that right there is a spell word. I'm being honest. I know it sounds crazy. This is some new shit, but I'm telling you.
It don't sound crazy. It don't sound crazy because you can see it be a spell word with a player when he using it on the ladies. You know, they could be all toe up and mad at him. As soon as they be like, I love you, then she fall right back into hypnosis.
Exactly. And
so
what do they do? A child can be molested. Even a child being molested by an uncle, brother, or daddy, or whatever, and the first thing come out, I love you. That word, look what's connected to it. And that's why so many people are messed up in the mind, because they use that word so lightly. They throw that word out a lot. Love. What? Really? Okay, if you look at it, what it's attached to, love means lust. That's what love is. It's just lust. So that means when you doing that, it's emanating that sexual fire. So that's what the energy is going on. It's like the love of the car, the love of the money, the love of the food. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what is it? But is that eternal? No. So we have to really look at these words, even the word enemy. We don't have enemy. Enter me. That's what that means. Enter me. That means whatever spirit that is out there that you're dealing with, or whatever spirit that other person has, and then you call them your enemy, that's entering you, because that's energy. I mean, you remember that movie Fallen by Denzel Washington?
Mm-hmm.
That right there is a prime good example. Yeah. It's go ahead. That word right there is a prime good. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Right, the whole movie is based on the fallen angel Azazel, right? Which has their big into a place, right, and jump, into each person.
I just experienced a situation like that because I just had my daughter. Now, you talk about the numbers. My admit date is 7/16/1975. We got 7 high elders, which, they say children. I got 7 children. The last one I just had on January the 8th, she is the 7th child, my second daughter. My Sa'el equal, as they will say husband, His admit date is 5/2. That's some more 7. Here it is, 2014, 7. We up at the hospital, and how about me coming up in there? I tried to have the baby at home, and because we saw it like a year ago. We saw the vision a year ago of them trying to trap us in the hospital, trying to take the baby and everything, even to the point of seeing there was no baby. And then, like you say, even those ancestors give you these visions and you can see, you cannot stop those things from coming. If you alter it, something else could happen. You know what I'm saying? So in the midst of us trying to have the baby here, I want to enjoy it at my house with my KABBALAH, but I end up having to go anyway. So you can't stop what's going to go, even if you have the vision of discernment to see these things. You know what I'm saying? Even before it happened. So we went in the midst of it. The baby came. This lady even tried to kill her. She was breathing. They put a breathing thing on that, kept pumping and pumping, and basically till the rest she was gone. And then she came, you know what I'm saying? But as me speaking, emitting out the energy, she come back. Where in the midst of her coming back, they still try to take her. We was out in the hallway. I mean, they called the police and everything. This is no joke. They end up, at the end of it, they basically got exposed. This lady, the spirit jumped from her to the head lady, from the pediatric lady, who wanted the blood, and all of this came from, I told them, they cannot have the placenta, and they could not have no blood. That's when they got in an uproar. They're looking, they want the blood. Watch yourself.
That's the O blood type. That's the O blood type, in particular O negative. They definitely want that blood.
I'm going to tell you something else, though. The unknown. Yep, they're looking for that O type, but it's the unknown one that they've been searching for that they ain't going to tell you about. They want that B. You've been talking about it right now. You've been talking about the what? Breath. They want that flux now. That's the car. You see that car is the breath. And see, they know that, oh, snap, that B is rising up. That's the breath. And now, since that B is rising up, we no longer looking at this G-O-D word, because that's a spell too. You flip that G-O-D over, you see what word that is. We have now accelerated to the Ka-Teen and Ka-Teen-L. Ka, K-H-U-T-E-N-N-E, which is Ka-Teen. Then you got the other, which is Ka-Teen-L, Ka, energy and element, which is for the 7, the man, the men. So when we are rising up into those levels and stuff, they're looking at you. They want to know. Now they're curious. They're like, oh, my goodness. This is stuff they know, but they're not going to put out there. But we learn this through nature, going back to the womb. That's the key. Going back to the mother womb. She going to teach you. Think about it. She was the breath, the water you want to breathe. You breathe through what? Her. Right there. If the women just wake up and do what they got to do, that's the beast that they scared of. See, they try to say we the weak, but we the creative energy. You create with that. Why do you think they trying to get with us now? They trying to create. And they trying to eliminate the L, the men, the 7, completion. See, that's like they said, you think about back in the days, like they said, when they took in prisoners. Okay, I have to call them because I know you got other calls online too, and I don't want to be holding up, but those are some things to think about. You know, remember that word love? Look into it. Look at it, what it represents. It's a spell, man. Enemy, that's a spell. Don't use that word. Atmosphere. Those are spell words. God, you putting yourself right back in the same situation. Flip that word over, dog. They treating it like a dog, an animal. Cattle. Ain't that chattel? That goes back to the Black Law Dictionary, chattel. Money. So it's putting them back in their same situation. So when you say, in other words, kids, don't call your children kids. That's an animal. If you call your child an animal, a kid, then they say basically animals have animals, and they treat you like that. Those are spell words.
There's a baby goat.
Yeah, you think about, it's a goat, an animal. So when you do that, it's just like, you telling a cop or somebody in the government that you are animal, and they use you as chattel. So those are like you said, sleeper words. Those are sleeper words that make them attack. Just like when a police came up and he talked to me, he said, ain't nobody talking to me. I said, well, what it is? He said, I'm glad to talk to you. You different. I said, because ain't no fear. I said, what do a dog do when he senses fear? He attack them. I don't have no fear. I exist without it. He said, I like you. I said, I know you do. They sense the fear. You have no fear. It's just straight, just be real with it. You call it what it is. Another, okay, I'll call another time.
All right, guys.
Thank you.
Well, we appreciate you. I'm gonna have to have you on for a whole show. So make sure inbox me. No, I'm serious. Inbox me, and we can have you on for a whole show dropping this info. So inbox me. Yeah, you can hit me up at royalhouse777@gmail.com. That's ROYALHOUSE 777@gmail.com. So royalhouse777@gmail.com. Hit me up, and we can have you on the whole show. So give me a title, and we can bring you back on. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Peace, Goddess.
Serene B.
Peace, Goddess.
Peace. All right, we're going to go back to area code 313, area code 1313. You got that other question that you, did you remember the other one?
Yeah, I was, I basically just wanted to ask, me and my wife, when we meditate, we like to put on some sacred frequency tones. And I was wondering, does it have any, what does it do? Does it help? What is the significance in that? Or is there any?
Right. Well, it depends on what hertz that is resonating at. The hertz has been transformed from 440, from 432 to 440 on the average.
I can give you some of the specific frequencies that is going on at the time. I usually have 147, 216, 285, 396, 417, 432.
396 activates the pineal gland, and also you need 528, in which that activates the heart chakra.
Yeah, I got that one too. 639, 741, 852, 864, and 963. That's I usually have all those playing at once. And
right, 741 is the heart, is the throat chakra, right?
Okay. So that does aid the meditation.
The activation of those particular chakras. Yeah, it's the same as do, re, mi, fa, la, ti, do. That is opening up the 7 chakras, also based on the frequency of the vowels. I, E, A, O, R, Ka, E. So when you do vowels, it breaks down into the 7 chakras. So it activates the 7 chakras. That's no problem with using those.
Okay, that's great. I appreciate you, brother. Keep on doing what you're doing, and have a good night.
All right. Appreciate you, brother. All right.
Yeah.
Brother L, I think we did good tonight. I know you got some closing comments. What you want to talk about?
Yes, the sister, yes, she was definitely right when she talking about the spell of words. They put spells and cast spells on you, like love and such as peace. But also it depends on what kind of energy you generate through those words also.
Right.
And she's right on time when she's talking about the word kids, because that's a baby goat.
That's
right on time when she's talking about that. I'd like to hear her again, to drop some more of that science on us.
Well, hopefully she'll write us, and we can get that going and get a show with her. And before she can go into full detail about it, she have a whole 2 hours to drop it or more.
Okay.
Yep. Well, we appreciate you, Brother L, for coming on, being my co-host and getting in them questions. And I'm holding it down.
First World Order Radio, finally, we are on the air. No doubt. All right.
There's always going to be somebody in the building on First World Order Radio.
We get on into some of that order consciousness tonight.
First World Order Radio every Wednesday, 8 p.m.
We got to talk about what is taking place on the planet.
There's always going to be somebody in the building on First World Order Radio. First, we need to let you know we're going to be doing more shows, giving out more information on Wednesdays. Wednesday at 8 o'clock, we are now going to make this the hottest day of the week.
Preceding others in time, order, importance. The most prominent parts, voices, or instruments. Earthly state of human concerns in existence. An indefinite multitude, quantity, or distance. System regulates to bring about specifics in the group based on value and natural characteristics. Current radiates electromagnetistics of sound through the air, same as your thoughts transmits it. Preceding others in time, order, importance. The most prominent parts, voices, or instruments. Earthly state of human concerns in existence. An indefinite multitude, quantity, or distance. System regulates to bring about specifics in the group based on value and natural characteristics. Current radiates electromagnetistics of sound through the air, same as your thoughts transmits it.
You need to understand how magical this, something like this every Wednesday can become. So you need to start getting your calendar right, get your schedule right. You need to know our intention straight out.
All right, so these clues are given throughout the various languages was to piece the puzzle of this ancient mystery school back together again.
And what we plan on doing, both of us, is bringing y'all some surefire dynamite. We're going to take this level up a notch. We're going to have stuff to do here. This is not just going to be about philosophies and theories, shit that works.